We are back with Dr. Burruss. With our host, Erica L., let's get right to it.
So I was initially disappointed when the March event didn't receive the traction that in my mind I heard God promised to me. But when he told me that I was out of alignment, I had to eat that and sit with it. He said there was so much more that he wanted to do with it, and that there's a certain group of people that he has sent that this particular event is for. I don't know these people. I do know some of the people that are volunteering, but I'm just excited to see all that he's going to do, how he's going to use this to glorify the kingdom. And really, it's kingdom work, right? Because we don't do it. I got a lot of kind of lash outs about, well, how are you making money? How are you breaking even? You're going into your pocket, but maybe the tickets aren't high enough, or maybe you aren't promoting well enough. But my go-to has been I even unfortunately lost some vendors, right? Because I had to be honest and say, hey, this is a faith move. I have no idea how this is going to work out. But if you walk this with me and you believe with me, I promise you it's going to be great, because he has never failed me yet. Right? It might come at the last minute, but he's never failed me yet. And just amazingly, the outpour of support, the sponsors that have come forward for just even small things. I just see him all up and through it. The tickets that have been selling, we only have one VIP ticket left. General admission is almost sold out as well. Wow. I was actually looking at the festival planning grid that I was doing, and I said, oh, we're going to have to move some things around to make sure that we have a good flow of people. But just our sponsors have been amazing. Those that have believed in the vision from even way back in last year, November, I started talking about this festival, planning this festival, reaching out to different vendors. And what makes this festival so special is that every piece of it is touched by a Black woman. All the authors are Black women. All of our speakers are Black women or Afro-Indigenous. Our businesses that are represented are Black women. The vendors providing services, DJ, videographer, photographer, are all Black women. Because I want women to see that we as women, Black women especially, that we can come together and make something amazing and make it beautiful.
And not only that, I'm glad that you shared that, because I was just sharing with someone else on a podcast that I was on yesterday, and I was letting her know that, some women are frustrated because they want to be submissive in a relationship, but right now they're submissive to what they're doing. And my dad and I, we have this conversation quite often, because I tell him God is a woman. And he said maybe for right now. But it's until the man takes its rightful place, because a man can give us his dream and we'll lay it out. And that's our thing. But right now we're doing that, and it's okay. Because hopefully then men can even come forward and say, hey, we see these women doing great things. Like my brother says, the trucking company is being taken over by women. You're talking about they're doing the logistics, they're driving, they have their own trucking companies. They're doing stuff that men thought they would never do. And it's not because they necessarily feel like that's their space, but it felt like they had to create that space because of the need.
Right. And that's how a lot of my projects have started. And I've even heard some people say, oh, that's petty, you're bitter. It has nothing to do with that. It's just being transparent, and this is what I've experienced. I've experienced, being told no more times than I've been told yes, because I don't have a large following. Or because this particular brand has a relationship with this big brand, and they're like, oh, don't consider me for any collaborations or whatever have you. And that's hard when you know that you have a gift, you know that you have an anointing, you know you have a purpose to serve women. But women are the ones that have hurt me the most.
Girl, it be your own kind.
Right? But what I would tell anyone listening, that I've gotten this question many times, and I don't know if it's something you were going to ask, but if they said, well, if you've been hurt so much by women, why do you keep doing stuff for women? Why do you keep hosting events for women? Why do you keep supporting brands that don't support you? Why do you keep pouring in and creating space? And it's because if you don't feed something long enough, it'll die.
Wow.
But the things that you do feed, the things that you do pour into, they will flourish and they will grow.
Yeah.
And I just have this
Just
crazy
like
faith, right?
You're in the muck and pouring.
Listen.
But that's one of the most beautiful flowers ever.
It is. And I have this crazy belief that if I put out enough positivity and I'm consistent enough, that eventually somebody will catch on.
No, I'm glad that you asked the question and answered the question, because I didn't really think about asking you the question. And this is how much I know that you're in your purpose and your zone, because even by me just sitting here with you, I'm sold. Which means that brings us to the next thing that I wanted to ask you. Her becoming, curating a space for literary people that initially felt like they did not have a voice, now have a voice.
Yes.
So how would that day be laid out for them? What people should expect?
I'm just so excited. I'm a foodie girl.
Okay.
So we have great food, curated bites for both our VIP section. Dawson's Family Catering is our VIP sponsor. So they've come up with some curated bites. Heritage Wines, which is a black winery out of Durham, is going to be doing wine pairings with those curated bites. And then we have some mocktails. We have a Get Mixed with Janie. She's a very popular Black female bartender taking over the Durham area. Very good friend of mine, and also just business owner as well. She supports a lot of my events. Blackology Coffee is going to be offering their coffee bar. We have Graze and Cutie. She's doing charcuterie bites and samples for both our guests.
For the volunteer?
I do.
Okay, y'all. So I am going to be a volunteer, because that's another reason why we are here right now today, because I reached out to her and I met her months ago. But the way that she pours into people's lives is just extraordinary. And so when I saw that she was having this event and she needed volunteers, like you said, I'm a servant. I love to serve. And I love to see people grow and move and thrive. And the way that you're thriving, you're just encouraging me even more. So I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to be the volunteer.
Thank you, because we need it.
Yeah, right? But next year, girl, I'm
next
in
year.
The space. Yes.
For general admission, we have live musical performance. We have a spoken word artist that's going to bring her gift to the room. We have all of our vendors. One of our sponsors that, I will support her 10 toes down from the front to the back, Mind, Body, and Sense.
Okay.
She's going to be having her scent bar.
Yeah.
She's going to be debuting that.
Candles and
candles, room sprays. Anything that you can probably think of scent-wise, I'm sure that if you tell her, she can make it.
Yeah, she's really good. I had an opportunity to meet her as well.
Yeah, so she'll be there.
Okay, good.
We have just so many talented writers, speakers, artists. H.E.R Publishing is our official publishing sponsor. Dr. Erica Perry Green. She will be there.
That is so. It's a small.
So she'll be there representing H.E.R Publishing along with some of her authors, her best-selling authors. Her daughter Cameron is going to be doing our art gallery. So she'll be selling her art. So just think Essence Festival, but for books, Black women, and music coming together on a smaller scale for now, but I just foresee it growing and scaling over the years, because this is going to be an annual event.
So I just want to speak into your life right now, because like I said, I have chills and I'm trying my best not to cry, but I see literally where this is going to curate so much space and opening. You're going to get people from across the world that's going to want to come in that space. You're not going to have wherever you're having it now, just be prepared, because 3 years from now, it's not even going to be able to hold. It's not even going to be able to hold. You know how many people are quiet and just in silence and don't want to share? Not because they don't want to share, but because they're afraid to share. And because, like you said, the bullying and people just like saying, "Oh, it don't take all of that."
Yeah.
Yes, it do.
Yeah.
For me,
extra read all about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, and if you don't like it, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Move forward. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I can't even express how grateful I am. I'm excited about Saturday. Can you tell everybody like where they can get a ticket?
Absolutely.
Even though you don't have many left.
Yeah, I don't have any left.
You know.
But you can get tickets on Eventbrite. If you follow our page at Lit for the Culture Fest, the link is there. You can also DM me directly. They can follow me at Dr. Katrina Burruss to get tickets that way as well. And we don't have many left because while I wanted it to be something else that God did that I didn't understand at the time, but now I understand is I want it to be a large scale. Like I wanted 200, 250, but I've learned, and a very good friend of mine, I call her my redheaded stepsister, because she has red locks.
Okay.
But she's a chef, but she told me a long time ago, years ago, to just trust the process and that it was more important to have quality than quantity.
Let me tell
of people.
That was on the tip
and
of
that's what
my.
she told me. She's like,
I feel like getting up, running, and coming
back. Then there'll be room for more. But you have to be able to steward the small things well.
Yeah.
And
if you be faithful
a little, he'll give you more.
And that's only. I mean, if there was a takeaway from this table today, that would be my takeaway. Quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah.
10 toes. And also to being able to create spaces for people to
use their voice. To use their voice. We live and we go through these testimonies, and we're delivered by the words of our testimony. But if you're never given a space to give it, and I'm a firm believer that, I'm an accomplished author as well. And I get, you wrote so much in your book. What I expose, the enemy can no longer use. It's the things that we hide that he uses to keep us bound, to keep us away from people, to keep us, low in faith.
What's the name of your book?
Well, I have 4.
Okay.
The first book is Protected for Purpose. The second is The Transition of She. I did not used to be a man. Okay, because
she has.
People ask me that. It was like, are you a trans? And nothing against that demographic, but no, that's just the name of the book. It's talking about the transition of my life during that time. And then
the S means something, the H means something.
Yeah, it's just
something.
Right. So just the transition of she. My third book is The Karma of Yes.
Okay.
Because I found that through my journeys, a lot of what I went through was some of my own fault. Because I said yes to the wrong things, knowing better, but going in my own, flesh. And then the fourth book is The Real Ones Still Pray. And that book talks about being a Christian in a world where being a Christian is not super popular. It talks about thriving through church hurt, but prayer being the cornerstone of all things. Even when you find that you may not, when you go through trauma, and I'm not a therapist by any means, but through therapy I've learned that when you go through traumatic things, you tend to compartmentalize.
Yes, you
and
do.
you may forget certain aspects. And it's not because you're trying to villainize another person or because you're trying to be deceptive in any kind of way. Your brain just doesn't calculate that part.
Exactly. It's trying to not recount that.
Correct. So that's something else that God also showed me through my journey. And The Real Ones Still Pray is like the coming of age of, hey, I realize some of this stuff that I am in, baby, you deserve to kind of be in it. You need to kind of sit and get through it, right? Because you talk about, part of the book talks about my co-parenting relationship, and how for a long time I played a victim in that situation, right?
Yeah.
But was I really a victim, or was I someone that was dealing with unresolved emotions and didn't have the right resources to deal with them as a single mom? Didn't know what that looked like, caught up in what I wanted, not saying what the reality of the situation was, and made the situation somewhat worse in some aspects. Right? Because I was trying to push my own agenda instead of following God's path of what He had for me. If He removed me from it, or he removed it from me, then it's not something that he had
Right.
for me, because
There's
he
no
knows.
stronghold.
Right?
Yeah.
He knows. He knew me before I was in my mother's womb.
Right.
So he knows, like, I see that this is something that you want. And I'm like, you say you give me a desire of my heart. You know, and you supposed to be, you had said,
Well,
right?
You had said. Yeah.
But a lot of times we move out of season. And then he's not the author of confusion.
Absolutely.
So then we wonder when we get in these chaotic situations where there's a bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
Now we want to be mad at him, or we want to blame the enemy.
Yeah.
You can't blame the enemy. You can't blame God. You need to look in the mirror
That
and you need
part.
to blame yourself because
That part.
you knew what the right thing to do was.
Self-acceptance.
But you chose not to do it. So that's what that book is about. It's really just, I would say it's like a public apology to those throughout my life that, hey, I may have hurt you with my words, I may have hurt you with my actions, I may have misspoke about a certain situation or whatever, but it wasn't something that was malicious or intentional. It's just the way that I remembered it,
Right.
because of what I was going through at that time, right?
Yeah.
So that's what those books are about. They're memoirs, and I would just say that each book is a different phase of my life, and somebody, man or woman, could find themselves in it.
Right.
And that's the purpose, I feel like, that God gave me, the gift that He gave me for writing. This conversation will go a whole separate way, but
Right.
my gifts are just blossoming, like,
And
I'm
they're
getting
getting
more clear,
Yeah.
I used to always talk about speaking on national stages,
And you will.
I've been able to do that.
Okay.
And then I've just received my first international speaking opportunity
Okay.
in Montreal, Canada
Thank you,
in November.
God. Okay. Thank you for giving
Thank
me
you.
confirmation.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
and that came from a place of where there were people in my life I looked up to that were doing these things. And I was like, how can I learn to do it? But it was just a little, but not enough information for me to be
Don't you
successful.
hate when they do
right?
that?
It's just enough for you to kind of know a little bit, but it's not enough for you to take it and really do something with it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's another reason that I curate these spaces and that I
And I'm so
support
grateful.
businesses. I don't need to know you. I don't need to know all the ins and outs. I don't need to be in your circle. I don't need to be in your clique. If
Right.
you're out here and you're doing something, man, woman, cat, dog,
Right.
and I believe in it and I'm drawn to it and I know it will help people,
That's all that
I'm going to
matters.
share the flyer. I'm going to share the event. I don't care if I get anything from it or not, because there's somebody that may be in my network that you can't reach that needs what you have.
Exactly.
And that's about collaboration. That's community.
Yes.
That's what
And that's
community
how
is.
I was introduced to you. That's how I met you. I met you in community. I met you in a space where we was supporting each other.
Mhm.
And it just went hand in hand. It just makes, I don't understand why it don't make sense to other people. And at this point in my life, I don't really care.
Right.
So with that being said, I continue to do what's needed. And some people, like you said, they say, oh, they don't take all of that. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. It's okay. But I'm moving forward and I'm stepping forward. And I'm glad that you mentioned about having a voice, because we have a segment on the show. It's called We Didn't Make This Fish Up. And, it's like, just pick one thing, really quick. What could you think of, like, that for a fact that you couldn't make it up if you wanted to? What thing, when people say, girl, I got something to tell you and I can't make this issue up. I mean, like, it may sound like it, but I didn't make it up.
So what's crazy is that I just really feel like there's been such a call in my life ever since I was in my mother's womb, and that, the enemy is just like, this one right here is something about her.
Mhm.
I don't want to say I'm God's favorite, but I feel like I am.
Okay.
Because He just keeps saving me over and over. But my mother was a very bad alcoholic and drug addicted woman, even while she was carrying me. So
Okay.
much to the fact that I was born with fetal alcohol syndrome,
Wow.
which is a debilitating disorder for fetuses.
Yes.
It results in sometimes learning disabilities, your brain not forming properly, your limbs not forming properly. I mean, there's so many different side effects to fetal alcohol syndrome.
Right.
And they had told my dad and my mother, and I found out years later that, you know, I was going to have some challenges around learning, around growth, around just remembering things. I do have
Dr. Burruss.
So I can't make it up. They said that about me, but you know, I went on to thrive in school. You know, honor roll student, a few C's here and there because I started rebelling. I had a little bit of a rebellion spirit. Come junior year, I'm just being honest. But a lot of that came from just the childhood trauma piece of wanting to feel seen and heard in an environment where I didn't feel like I belonged and heard. Right. And that's a whole different story for a different day. But
we'll come back.
People
I want
don't
you to come
understand.
Back, so we're gonna talk about it.
As a bonus mom myself, I don't think that people understand how important that role is in the life of children.
Yes.
You know, it's very important, especially when they come into your life at younger ages, to rear and really pour into that relationship, because you're now the epitome of the parent that they've lost. And my mom wasn't passed away, but she wasn't present anymore. She signed her rights over. And I didn't see her again until I was 21. Wow. So the only home that I grew up in was a home my dad and his wife and my brothers.
Which is blended family.
Which is a blended family. And that's why with even my nonprofit, we've incorporated like that co-parent blended family community, because there's some workshops and trainings that need to happen. Absolutely. There's some testimonies and some feedback and some resources that they need, because it's more than, oh, I just married your mama, I just married your daddy.
Right.
You married the mama and the kids, or the daddy and the kids. Like, it's a package.
It's a collaborative effort.
And you know, the love that you pour into the spouse, you still have to find a way to pour that love so it trickles down into the children. And that's more than just providing for them. I think in a lot of relationships, not just that, but romantic relationships, sister to sister friendships.
You have to feed it.
You have to feed it. You have to pour. Now, I'm not saying, oh, we need to talk every single day, or I need to be at your house, you need to be at my house. But you get out of a relationship what you put into it. Absolutely. And, you know, even the word talks about teaching and training a child the way it should go, so that when they get older, they won't depart from it. That's the same thing with relationships. Yeah. You can't just be a provider. That's great. But I love my friends that show up in the thick of things, you know, the white Bronco situations. Right. But sometimes I just need that cup of coffee too, just to sit and look at your pretty face and hear about what you got going on. Like, that's what you got going on. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of relationships, which kind of sends me back to the reason for Lit for the Culture, is I want people to have community and not just transactions. Relationships have become too transactional.
And transactions, instead of having transactions, it has to be transitions and transformations.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, the access.
Yes. The visibility.
The
accolades. You never know. Someone in that room on Saturday, they may have fought to get there. They may feel like, why am I here? Right? But I want them to leave knowing that I'm proud of you. On each table, when the vendors come to set up, they're going to have a sign that says, I'm proud of you. Yes. When they get to their table. Wow. Not a whole lot, you know.
That makes a big deal.
But hey, it's going to be their business name or their name, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for being here today. And it's just a little something.
And it's the little things. Really, to be honest with you, it's the little things that cause people to be like, ooh, I really do that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad that you're creating that space. You're allowing people to be who they are. And we didn't make this ish up. Look at that. Alcohol, yes, alcohol fetal syndrome. It's a lie. The devil is a lie. Hey. Yes. So I do appreciate you being on Brown Girl Table Talk, where we take life wounds and turn them into empowering moves I want you to share with everyone how they can reach you again. We did share a little bit with us.
Okay.
We're looking forward to Saturday, and we're going to continue to follow you and support you.
Yeah, so you can find me on all social media platforms at Dr. Katrina Burruss. But on Wednesday morning at 6:30, you can find me on CBS 17 on the morning show, where I'll be talking with news reporter Greg Funderburg about Lit for the Culture. And I'll be there with our community partner, Power Inc., whose CEO and founder will be joining us, Ms. Teresa Tyler. So I'm super excited to have her with me on the news show that morning.
I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
Thank you again for being on Brown Girl
Thank you.
Table
Thank you
Talk.
for having me.
I really enjoy you, Dr. Burruss, and I look forward to volunteering.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Brown Girl Table Talk is not a substitute for professional mental health treatment, therapy, or psychiatric care. If you are experiencing any symptoms of mental health conditions, suicidal thoughts, and/or psychiatric emergency, please seek professional help immediately. You may call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which is available to you 24/7. You may call or even text.
Pull up a chair, let your soul breathe free. This ain't just a table, it's a family tree. Leave the weight behind, bring the woman you'll be. Every scar wrote a chapter, now it's victory. We planted through the pain, but we bloom anyway. Found light in the dark, brought the sun to the gray. Breaking old cycles, now we lead the way. Choosing peace every night, loving us every day. Brown Girl Table Talk, come and take your seat. Turning life wounds into power with the beat. Brown Girl Table Talk. Every voice complete. One heart, one truth. Now the healing feels complete.